Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to today's science class. In the last class, we discussed about parasitic nutrition and what are saprotrophic nutrition. I explained, and we also studied about symbiotic nutrition. Okay, and the last topic which one is left in this particular lesson is insectivorous plants. Insectivorous. Okay, insectivorous plants. What are these insectivorous plants? Where they will grow? Okay, mostly some of these plants we can see in the deep forest areas and the desert areas also. We can see these insectivorous plants will grow. Okay, here what is the special features we are learning about these insectivorous plants means these plants just like they act like as a carnivorous plants. That means usually the plants the regular process is a different, that is called as a photosynthesis. They derive their energy by the factors like as a carbon dioxide, the water, in the presence of the chlorophyll and the sunlight. That's what you learn already. But here the question is that here the Buzo also got it out. Here this insectivorous plant, what is given in your textbook, it is looking like as the green color. Obviously, whenever it is a green color, there is the chance for the pigment called as a chlorophyll. Whenever there is a chlorophyll, they trap the solar energy, they can participate and they can synthesize their own food by the process of the photosynthesis. Of course, these plants will also prepare their own food by the process of the photosynthesis. Now the small boy, Buzo, got it out that then why these plants are depending on the insects. What makes it? It's a small example I want to give here. I like to give here. Okay, just you can, every day morning you'll take a glass and just you take a glass and fill with the milk and you used to drink. Glass filled milk we'll drink. Some people they'll prefer only the plain milk, and some people what they you know that the milk is rich in the protein content. That is the reason for the bodybuilding you are going every day the glass of milk. Some people what they will do, they'll add the milk plus Bournvita or but not just Complan. Okay, Horlicks. You can add all these things and we are drinking. That is why you are adding, you can go only with the milk, but you are adding additional the substances to boost your energy. The same thing here these insectivorous plants will also doing. Insectivorous plants, they derive their energy by the process of the photosynthesis. By taking additional these insects, the growth of this plant it will be more and additional boosting energy these insectivorous plants will get. Okay, yes. How these insectivorous plants and they prepare certain baskets, pitcher baskets we'll say that. How they prepare these baskets that we are going to study now. Okay, yes. So insectivorous plant, what they will do means they derive energy by photosynthesis as usual to get an additional energy, and what these plants will do means for additional energy these plants they trap the insects, insects. Okay children, let me give some I integrated example here. What is it? Name some insectivorous plants. What are the insectivorous plants means? In your textbook it is not given, just make a note though, just it is useful for you for the general knowledge. Okay, the insectivorous plants like Nepenthes. When I send the video for you, in the video also they showed different plants. Okay, Nepenthes, Drosera. Okay, these two names are enough. Many are there. Nepenthes, Drosera, Utricularia, sundew plant. These are many plants are there, and these two just you keep in your mind, Nepenthes and then Drosera. Okay, these two plants comes under the insectivorous plants. In insectivorous plants, how they just prepare pitcher. Pitcher means the leaf itself. This is the leaf structure, no? The leaf apex, leaf. The leaf itself, it will be modified like as a picture. Okay, yes, that is an important interesting thing here. Leaf is modified. The leaf is modified into picture. Okay, yes, this modified, how it is modified into the picture, let me say that. Okay, so if you see in your the textbook, this the diagram is given here. Yes, I will send for you this. So the leaf first, how it will be changes means it will be changed like as a basket. See, many leaves, more than 4 leaves that they change like as the basket here. So the total the leaf, it will be turn up into the let me draw, then you will get an idea. Okay, yes. So from the leaf part, and it will be convert, or it will be turned like as a basket like this. Okay, this one we'll call it as the picture basket. So this entire leaf, but this here the apex is there, no? This apex, how it will be transverse means it will be transverse like as a lid like this. Okay, and this lid is also connected to this. Did you get my point? The entire leaf is turned like as a basket or modified like as a basket. The apex, the tip of the leaf, it will be, it convert like this is a basket, and this it will be like as a lid. It will be converts like as a lid. Okay, yes. So not only that, inside the baskets, what we will see means, we'll see a group of hairs will grow. But how these hairs are growing? These hairs are growing downwards. The direction of the hair is downwards. Okay, yes. So whenever insects, usually why the insects visit to the plants? At what time they will visit to the plants? For the sake of the nectar, they will visit to the plants. And to participate in the pollination, they may visit to the plants. So whenever they visit to the plant like that, immediately what will happen? By that sensation, stimulations, what will happen means, this whenever the insects comes closer, whenever the insects come a little bit closer, immediately the lids, it will be closes, it shut down. It is up, no, it shuts down like that. Whenever it shuts down, what will happen? The insect, it will be they come inside the basket. Inside the baskets, what are there? Hairs are there, and automatically these hairs, what they will do? They push the insects to be go downwards. Okay, whenever the insect, it goes downwards, and immediately this the basket releases certain digestive solutions, digestive juices. Otherwise, digestive juices, in your right class you will study that digestive juice is nothing but it is a sort of a chemical. Whenever these chemicals will be released, this trapped insect, automatically what will happen? It will become as a soft. It is a complex one, no? It is a hard one, it is a complex one. First, because of the suffocation, as the lid was closed, as there is no air inside, automatically the insect will die. Whenever the insect will die, these digestive juices releases over it. And then the insect, it will become as a very soft, juicy way. And so, this in the leaf with the small openings, and what will happen? And it sucks, or it will be takes inside. So like that, these insectivorous plants, they derive the additional energy along with, even though they participate in the photosynthesis. Am I clear to you, children? Yes. So what are the points you have to learn here means, the leaf is modified into the picture, and the next one is the apex is developed or converted into the lid-like structure, and inside the picture what you are seeing that? We are seeing that hair-like structures. Okay, inside the picture, hair-like structures. So how these hair-like structures the position is towards downwards. Hair-like structures, that position is towards as an downwards. So then what will happen? And the downwards, and the insect, it will be reaches down, and immediately it releases this the digestive juices, and it will be softened, and the food it will be taken. Okay, yes, this type of nutrition or this type of mechanism we'll see only in an insectivorous plants. Children, is it clear? And these are the different examples for heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, heterotrophs, other than the photosynthesis process, some of the plants, they depend on other substances or other organisms to derive their energy. So under that, once again, just I am giving the review as it's the last topic. So under that, we discussed about fungi, how this fungi, that is mushroom activity is studied. Whenever the powerful dead and decayed organism will be seen by the fungi, and fungi releases certain digestive juice exactly like this. And this digestive juice converts the dead and decayed organism into the juicy content, even though the fungi is not having the mouth, microorganism it is. They is not having the mouth and other structures. Buzo also got the same doubt. Fungi is not having the mouth, how it takes its food? The food, it will be in solution form, soluble forms. Okay, that it will be absorbed by the fungi, and fungi gets an energy. Okay, is it clear, children? Yes. As the fungi is getting the energy from the dead and decayed organisms, they are called as saprotrophs. That nutrition is called as an saprotrophic nutrition. Okay, and we also discussed about the parasitic nutrition, and parasitic nutrition example you studied Cuscuta, amarbel we studied. The amarbel is not having any the green pigment structures. They have the hair-like structures, but they deprive the energy from the host cell. Okay, yes. So that is an example for the parasitic nutrition. So then another one, we can also the plant required. The last topic, once you see, children, how this the plants gets an energy is given in your textbook. See, yes, how nutrients are replenished in the soil. Let me say about this point. How how nutrients are replenished. How nutrients are replenished in the soil. Yes. What is the meaning of the replenished? The replenished is nothing but getting back. Just imagine, children, only there is a continuous uses of the chemicals by the plants, and there is no additional growth of the plant. Additional adding to the gases into the atmosphere. Obviously, what will happen? They will disappear. They disappear from the nature. Did you get my point? The plant is utilizing the carbon dioxide continuously. It is not releasing the carbon dioxide out. Then what will happen? Plant will not get the carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Okay, that is the reason what the plant is doing. During the photosynthesis, plant is taking the carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen. Got it? And that released oxygen once again takes by the plant during the respiration, and it releases the carbon dioxide. Like that, the percentages of oxygen and the carbon dioxide is maintaining in an atmosphere. It has to be circulated or cyclic way it has to be. The same thing is required for the soil also. The enrichment of the nutrients and the materials is required for the plant in the soil. Especially in the soil, what are the main nutrients plant requires here means, and we can say that NPK. NPK. What is the full form of this NPK means? Nitrogen. Okay, P stands here phosphorus, and K stands here potassium. Okay, yes. So these three chemicals or these three nutrients are very, very important for the plant. Let's come into the nitrogen. Why the nitrogen is required for the plant means nitrogen is necessary for the development of the protein molecules in the plant. And I already said that nitrogen is necessary for the plant growth, but unfortunately plant cannot use the nitrogen directly. That is the reason plant is depending on soil bacteria. Plant is depending on the soil bacteria for the conversion of this nitrogen into simple. That's the reason they're given one example, rhizobium bacteria. So what this rhizobium bacteria is doing and where this rhizobium bacteria will grow, I said this bacteria will be grow in the pea plant, leguminous sea plants, and this rhizobium will grow. So what the rhizobium will do means it converts the nitrogen into, textbook it is given soluble forms. Okay, yes, if anyone get a doubt what are these soluble forms of the nitrogen means, and we can say that these are nitrates and nitrites. In the form of the nitrates and the nitrites, and it supplies the food nitrogen to the plant, and so plant uses that one. That is called as the best example for symbiotic nutrition. So, and if the farmer want the nitrogen levels to be maintained in the soil, what they will do means they can spray the nitrogen chemicals or the nitrogen fertilizer in the soil. Otherwise, they can make them to grow the culture of the bacteria as an azotobacteria, rhizobium bacteria. When they make them to grow this particular culture, and what will happen? The soil get enriched. So, for example, when the plant died, what will happen? If instead of the died plant, if you throw it somewhere, just dig the soil and keep it under the soil. What will happen? The nitrogen it will be added into the soil. Every day, the many leaves are falling on under the trees. If you are collecting it, if you burn it, instead of doing that, dig a pit and bury the leaves under the soil. Then what will happen? All the chemicals which are present in the soil, they'll go back. In such a way, the replenishing process it will be takes place. That's all, children. This is the end of this particular topic, and I'll give the worksheet also. Please carry on that, go through that worksheet, and all the terminologies. Separate key points are given in your textbook. Let me say once very fast what we covered here: nutrients, nutrition, saprotropes, heterotrophs, autotrophs, symbiotic nutrition. Okay, and these are all the new terminologies what you discussed. Parasite. And all these definitions, please learn it and go for the schematic flow of the plant diagram is also important, children. That's all for this class. Thank you and have a good day.